Welcome back to Pancake FC, the YouTube channel named after the fantasy team named after my dog. Today, we are putting together my team for MLS Fantasy Week 17. It is another wacky week with a lot of international absences. I'll get onto that in just a moment. But first, I would be remiss if I didn't point out my co-host, visible down at the bottom right of your screen. It is Pancake, and as per usual, she ain't doing nothing. If you do find yourself enjoying the video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. For every person who does so, Pancake does get an extra treat. Also, please check out MLS Fantasy Insider this week. We recorded it yesterday. It is available on your podcast platform of choice, I believe, and also right here on YouTube on the MLS Fantasy Boss channel. I was a guest, and we had a lot of fun, and I had some hot takes, which I will also be sharing here, of course. I am also traveling on the road, so I'm sorry if the audio sounds kind of funky or anything like that. I do apologize, but I am out and about. But we are going to get into it. So we'll start with how my team did last week, and then we'll look quickly at some of the games for this upcoming week, as well as some key points, and then I will make my team for the coming week, week 17. But for week 16, I did all right. I got 61 points. It was up 2 after points correction. That was 59 right before. Sam Junko got a couple points. Roldan got 1. Arriaga got 8. I was pretty high on New England this last week. Carried a torch for them all week, and it paid off good. They won 1-0, as I predicted. Carlos Hill, 11 points. Pretty good. Hall Evander, 4. Not great, but 4 is an okay floor. Edward Leuven did, I think, pretty solid out of 5. That's a great floor. Jacques Klaus had 3. Ferreira had 3. Obviously, my Jesus Ferreira captaincy play did not really pan out. I don't really mind it, though. It doesn't really make too much of a difference. My week rank was still 387. Overall rank up just a hair to 163. And I think this was a good week to take a swing on the captaincy. It didn't really pay off, but I'm not too bothered about it. Ivicic hit well off the bench, 8 points. Amendi, I think is how it's pronounced, did pretty good. 10 points, and then Rusnak and Rudias were kind of busts. So ultimately, this is pretty much how my week panned out. I'll say in general I'm satisfied with it, would probably be the way to put it. So for this upcoming week, Portland are the team on a bye. If you look at the schedule, we have a Friday game and then a bunch of games congested up and then a little bit spread out. So you got 9:30 Central Time to 6:30 Central Time, so kind of a typical window there, no Sunday games. Portland, again, the bye team. Key absences. Some of these are a little not 100% sure. So all the Olympic guys are maybe going to be gone, maybe coming back. The Olympics, the U.S. plays either today or tomorrow, and then they don't have another game until the Olympics. So Cole Bassett may or may not be back for Colorado this weekend. Same goes for John Tolkien. Christian Benteke is like taking a vacation right now or something. I'm not sure if he's going to be back or not. He went to Jamaica to rehab a knock or an injury he picked up, but on his Instagram, he's like paddling a kayak down a river. I don't really know what Benteke is doing right now. I mean, I do know he's living his best life. Good for him. We all could use a vacation, but I don't know if he's going to play this week or not. I'm kind of leaning towards probably not, it sort of seems like. Lewis Morgan for sure will not be playing this week. He is with Scotland. He did make the roster. Sean Johnson as well is gone at Copa America, as is Julio Cascante. Georgios Giacomakis has gone permanently off to Mexico. Aiden Morris, super recently, just this morning, transferred to England, so he is gone for Columbus. Although he I think I did read that he might still play some Columbus games. I'm pretty sure he'll be out this week, but he could still come back and play a little bit for Columbus, either before that transfer is made permanent, or I don't know if it's like a loan back situation, but I did read something about that as well. Bombito is gone at the Copa America. Federico Bernardeschi picked up a red card last week. He is out. Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Matias Rojas all gone to Copa. Gazdag gone to Euros, and then Jack Elliott also picked up a suspension. There are a lot more absences, obviously, in the league. These are just kind of the key ones that stuck out to me. Let's get on to my team and what I'm thinking. You're going to catch a quick... I got hit it quick enough. Let me clear it. All right, now you can make it and keep you all in suspense for what I'm going to do. So, we'll start with the goalkeepers. I am liking Kalina. These guys I all mentioned in the tier list video yesterday, pretty much. Kalina, I am liking as well Gavran from Toronto. In my tier list video, I said Sean Johnson because I totally forgot he was out. But I'm liking Sean John. I'm liking Stefan from Colorado. And then for these final window games, McCarthy looks like the best option to me, although I don't really dig him. So I'm gonna start as the first part of my keeperoo, Zach Steffen. See if I can find him. He's dropped down in value quite a bit. Zach Steffen, pretty. I mean, $6 million is a decent price anyway, but I just really don't rate Austin away. I just really don't. Colorado kind of do seem to give up one usually, but I just don't know. And I think Driussi came off with like a small ankle problem or something last week. So if he doesn't play, then I really like Colorado. And I already really like Colorado. So Zach Steff is definitely going to be part of my keeperoo. And as for my first keeper I'm going to pick, right now I'm leaning with Gavran for Toronto. They're just really solid at home. And Chicago are a team that I've been targeting quite a bit recently to pretty decent results. If Benteke doesn't play, then I am tempted to go Charlotte. I'm not sure how to analyze the Charlotte versus DC matchup because Charlotte plays so much off the ball and DC press so much. That's like, I'm not sure if DC are going to adjust or if it's going to matter. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to make of that matchup. So I'm just going to stick Gavran as my first guy in the keeperoo. This is risky because the windows are going to overlap. The Gavran's game, the 6:30 game, isn't quite going to be done by the time that Zach Steffen's game kicks off. So I would say in general, like I don't really recommend doing this. It's pretty risky. It's a good way to get your heart broken. If you're one of the people who got Red Bulls a couple weeks ago with that weather delay, then you know. But I just don't like the 9:30 keepers. I don't want to miss on Steffen, and I don't want to take Freeze or Schulte from New York and Columbus. Schulte, I'm pretty sure, is confirmed to be back and starting from the Olympics game, the warm-up game this week. So I'm going with Gavran. If something comes out weird in the Columbus lineup, like Cucho isn't starting or something, then maybe I'd consider Freeze. But this is how I'm playing it right now. I just in general wouldn't really recommend overlapping times like this, but for this week I'm kind of considering it a special circumstance. As for my defenders, I am 100% on the Wagner train, and I'm back on the Lennon train. I am feeling Lennon again. His points recently have been better. We'll take a look real quick at that. So if it ever loads, we're going to take a look at it. So as of late, bonus points have been pretty decent. Y'all know with defenders, I'm all about my bonus points. They've been pretty solid, and I'm hoping Atlanta get a new manager bounce against Houston. Houston are not a very good away team. If Atlanta get a clean sheet, that's great. I think Lennon should get some bonus points no matter what. I'm pretty high on Lennon this week, actually, and I'm pretty high on Kai Wagner. I'm going to go ahead and pick my two scrubs because I am planning on benching a defender this week. Portland, just give me Miller and Araujo, and we're good to go. As for my bench defender, I just like the upside of Alba this week. He's going to be my third, real option. Philly are missing some pieces, and, Inter Miami, Philly also have not been great at home. We'll just have to see how involved Jordi Alba is, how not having Messi and Suarez affects him. Is he going to shoulder more responsibility? I don't know. I think he's just worth a gamble. If John Tolkien starts for New York, I might consider going with him over Alba, but we'll just have to see what's going on with that. For the moment, I just like the upside of Alba. I would not recommend starting him. I think he's probably best just as a bench play, and I'm going to take a swing there. If he doesn't work out, then I'll probably stick in a Colorado defender if there's enough time to kind of assess the situation. Or from these last games, I'd probably go with, maybe Yoshida from Galaxy. Probably Yoshida from Galaxies. Yoshida from Galaxy, but I would definitely, probably if I could, get in a Colorado defender over anything else if Alba busts. So for my midfielders, here's what I'm thinking. I'm feeling pretty good about this midfield too. I like Almada against Houston. I think now that Gigi's gone, Almada should be shouldering, a lot of the responsibility. I think we could maybe see, he's got an amazing floor anyway, but we could see a little bit of a reversal towards what was happening last year where like Almada was the guy. I think he's going to be the guy again. So I definitely like that. Acosta is just, matchup proof. He's the man. Ricky Pooch, also matchup proof. He's the man. And then I like Carlos Hill against Vancouver. Vancouver sit deep in a low block, so I think Carlos Hill hopefully should just farm passing bonus points. I don't really care what else happens or what he does. I expect him to put up, key passes and normal passing bonus points combined at least 4. And that's good enough for me for a start and for me to take him. As for my forwards, Chicho Rongo is a lock this week. He's got an amazing floor. Montreal aren't a great team. It is a way for RSL, but I think there's a good chance he gets a goal. And if he doesn't, I think he should still end up with like a 5, hopefully. And I'm pretty content with that. As for my last 2 forwards, I really like Insignia this week for Toronto. With Bernardeschi out, what am I clicking on? With Bernardeschi out, Insignia should be the guy for Toronto. He should be on pretty much like all sets. Pens for sure. He's only played 2 full 90 minutes this year. One game he did really good, the other game not as much. It's kind of too small of a sample size to really try to draw any conclusions from, but I think he's going to have a big game at home against Chicago. Toronto are just pretty solid at home anyway, so I do like Insignia. I forgot about a midfielder spot. We got to pick one more guy. Let's see. Who else? I know who I'm going to take. Yeah. I'm very high on Mihailovic this week. Very, very, very high on Mihailovic. I think he should do very well bonus points wise. I think there's a good chance that he gets a goal contribution. We'll have to see what's going on with the penalty taking situation. Navajo did miss a penalty last week. I don't know if that's going to take him off of it. There's not any way to know unless they say something about it, but you never know. Mihailovic could be on pens. Even independent of that, I really, really, really like him this week. This last forward spot is very contentious for me. Look at the games real quick. So I want to target somebody who is a good bonus points guy. I'm kind of all about that right now. So Buanga is a good bonus points guy. I don't think I have enough money. Oh, I do have enough money. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've got more than enough money for Denny Buanga. So I could go Buanga. Orlando are not great. But Buanga on the road, also not great. This would be as a bench play. Not sure. Cucho, kind of like the idea of this week, to be honest with you, but with some of Columbus's absences, I'm not 100% sold, but I do kind of like the idea of it. Joveljic could be good for a goal. If Julian Carranza starts, I'm interested in that. I definitely am. Kelsey could be a fun punt against San Jose. I took some very serious heat for saying that Jesus Ferreira. Here's what I said. I said, and go back and watch it, okay, on the MLS Fantasy Insider. I said that if you think the matchup, FC Dallas versus St. Louis, is going to go one way, right, then maybe if he isn't playing the same role that he did last week against Minnesota, he could be a fun differential forward to stick on your bench because he's on like all sets, some corners, he's on pens. He's still one of the best players in the league, despite his form recently. It's still Jesus Ferreira. That is what I said. I could not qualify that statement anymore. What people heard was Cap Ferreira, start him. He's the best. That's not what I said, okay? He is a decent bench punt, in my humble opinion. All right? Don't cancel me for saying that. I am considering him for this last spot. I know he kind of let me down last week, but the matchup, when I'm talking about the matchup going one way or the other, if Dallas try to play out the back like they have been, St. Louis is going to eat them alive. They're going to struggle. I don't think they're going to do that. Nico Estevez was fired this week, so I would think that whoever's steering the ship temporarily is maybe going to be a little bit more pragmatic and also hopefully play Ferreira in a more normal role. Ferreira did also last week against Minnesota have like 2 or 3 chances where he probably should have scored at least off one of those. He should be getting bonus points. He hasn't, but he should. I think there's a decent case to be made for him. I don't know if I'm going to go with him, though, but I think there's something there. Otherwise, aside from that, I did read on the somebody threw out on Discord Liel Abada as a super kind of sneaky punt. I hadn't really considered him to that point. Um, I was going to look at his bonus points. They're not great, but he did have a very good game against Atlanta. I think he's kind of a fun punt if you want to stick Abada on your bench. I'm probably not going to, but he's there. And then I don't think there's anything else I'm necessarily interested in. Earlier today when I did this draft, I did have Cucho as this last spot. I'm kind of tempted by the upside of Bouanga, to be honest with you. I'd thought about Benteke, but it kind of seems like he's not going to play now. So I'm going to be full. Like, I don't really know what I want to do with this spot. I think for now, I think I'm just going to stick Ferreira because I might as well double down on that. Even though I don't believe it that strongly. I really don't know who to put for this last spot. Maybe more information will come out later in the week that'll make this more apparent. But I'm not so sure what I want to do with my last forward spot. I really don't. I'm definitely just going to cap Ricky Puig. I think I've said it before, but if Messi's out, then he's probably just the best default captain option. And I'm going to start Mihailovic over Insigne too. That makes me like the Insigne play even more. It's only upside, really. And I really like Mihailovic this week. I think there's even a case to be made to captain Mihailovic. But the most obvious option, the safest option, is definitely capping Ricky Puig. But this is pretty much where I'm at. I'm very happy with basically everything except with the very last forward spot. I still feel pretty lost there. So if you have any suggestions, let me know down below. That is pretty much going to do it for me for this video. I'll definitely talk to y'all again soon. And another one, I'm working on some other fun stuff. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I'm very close to 100 subscribers. That would be awesome. Please, if you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. For every person who does do so, Pancake gets an extra treat. There will definitely be a video out later this week where the Pancake treat cam is attached onto the end, so look out for that for sure. Thank you all so much for watching and for the continued support. It really does mean a lot to me. And again, I was on MLS Fantasy Insider. Check that out if you have not already. Best of luck to all y'all when you are putting your teams together. I hope that the FMLS gods bless y'all with favorable bonus points, some goals, and always, always, always don't forget, listen to your gut. Even if your gut says that Jesus Ferreira is a decent idea, listen to it. Listen to your gut above all else. And I will talk to y'all again very soon.